Welcome back to the developer reports for the Arena Team Manager game. Since the last devlog, we've added quite a lot of mechanics and visuals. And for those who are new to this series, we are a couple of brothers making a game where you can take the role of a fantasy manager who has to hire fighters, equip them, schedule the fights, and to earn some money to pay for their hirelings. As for the new additions, maybe the most notable changes are the new portraits, as well as other flair added to the scene. Now everything that can be killed bleeds, though they can also perform for the entertainment of those blocky audiences in various ways, especially now that their tactical reasoning has been starting to reach its peak. Aside from the simple striking, dodging and blocking, these guys can now grapple, which keeps their foes still and might give the grappler a chance to introduce those poor brutes' faces to some sand. And if hands-on approach is not your style, there's also the option to disarm your opponents. And no, you can't cut off limbs yet. Since these fights can be taxing and get awfully violent, morale was given its promised role, as a fighter might lose their will to fight and run away, especially if their opponent is intimidating. As a related note, fighters can also goad their opponents using taunts. You may have noticed the objects scattered around the arena. Well, they're not just for show, but work as deadly and extremely annoying makeshift weapons, giving the fighters more range and having the chance of knocking down anyone hit by such a speeding boulder. And what is this? Magic? Yes. This is a fantasy game after all. So there are fighters you are able to hire who have the ability to conjure magical energies to hurl at their foes. Of course, there are less magical abilities, like having multiple legs, being ill-tempered, maybe wielding natural weapons, or being reinforced by natural armor. Some creatures can spit, others shoot out spikes, and few breathe fire. Speaking of hirelings, we've added management menus for you to hire fighters with. From there you can browse through the poor souls looking for a fight and give them a warm team to nest in. Currently, there are 50 different types of creatures that can join your team, though the pool from which you can choose from changes periodically. Every fighter has their initial hiring cost as well as the upkeep cost. You have to pay them on regular basis for them to stay on your payroll. If you want more information on them, you can view their statistics and abilities. We've given some of the characteristics a different coloring to differentiate some inherent differences. Blue number means that the fighter has the peak capability on given characteristic, while the red means they are at their lowest. After you've hired your team, you get to equip them, though we're still working on that feature. However, you get to choose which of your fighters you want to take to a fight. And check on your opponents before the match, just in case. Getting back to the thick of the battle, as the match is about to start, you are given a chance to shuffle your team around and set their approaches before it's go time. We have also started to implement crowds and their favor into the fights, though currently each match is spectated by 8 judgmental giant cubes. Even if the fighters are capable and smart enough to sometimes win on their own, we've given the player a slight control over their fighters in the form of tactics, each changing their goal-oriented action planning to nudge them towards a certain way of performing. Focus. In this state, they'll be trying to take down one enemy at a time, while disregarding any distractions. On guard, which boosts their defensive capabilities, though takes away some of their aggressiveness. Free, during which they do whatever they want. Avoid, which has them prioritize survival and regaining their health, stamina, and fighting spirit. Distract, which includes the fighter trying to do hit and run attacks while taunting their foes. Last and certainly not least, all out, which has your fighter disregard their defenses in order to deal as much damage as they can. Despite all of the different tactical approaches, each fighter is slowed down by their stamina, which is spent as they fight and regained by not taking actions. These fighters also know how to take a step back and go gather their bearings while letting the others do the fighting. As the last enemy falls, the match comes to its end, as does this video. If you liked what you saw, tell us about it in the comments and crush that like button just to be sure. Currently, we are making this game with 0 budget, so every new like and every subscriber really boosts our morale. Well, I hope to see you back in a couple of months on our next devlog. So, until then, see ya.